We saw new vehicle sales in South Africa slowing to 7.3% year-on-year in November, registering numbers over 53,000 units sold. Now, this was a 3.2% lower than the 10.5% rise that we saw in October when 57,000 units were sold. So let's look at the outlook for vehicle sales in South Africa. Chris de Kock, Executive Head of Sales and Marketing at WesBank, joining me at the desk. Chris, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
So what did you make of the number that came through today?
Very strong. I think, as many people have said, the numbers are surprising on the upside, but I think there's logical reason for that. I think there's a lot of demand that's been created by the ideal buying conditions that persist. And I think that consumers are taking advantage of that, and you can see that in the market.
And just interesting, just looking at the WesBank book data, you pointed out that you had the record second highest month on record in terms of monthly applications, 116,440. So that's of course an indication that people continue to apply for asset finance when it comes to their vehicles.
No, there's no question. I think it indicates that the demand is consistent and is solid. And I think it also indicates that the low interest rate environment, we're sitting with our interest rates at 40-year lows, which is one of the big costs, obviously, in purchasing a vehicle, remains a very important item when people consider purchasing cars.
What's the outlook going into 2013? Because we have seen such strong growth in 2012, and I assume this has created quite a high base to work off.
There's no question. I think 2013 is going to be considerably more difficult to grow off the base that you mentioned. I think also it's quite difficult to understand what is driving these new car numbers, because when we look at the 53,000 vehicles that you mentioned, we are only looking at the new car market. We're not looking at the used car market. And the used car market is anywhere between 2 and 4 times larger than the new car market. And
in terms of overall
sales? In terms of size. And I think there has been considerable shift from the used car market into the new car market, primarily because there's been such great value for the consumer in the new car market. So I think that there has been some inflated numbers in the new car market, which really accounts for the reason why new car sales numbers seem to be growing at such a higher rate than what you would see other normal retail sales. However, that shift from used to new, I think, is going to be changed around next year, because the used car market has had to adapt to the excellent value that is available in new cars. And I think you'll see that the used market will entice more customers there next year, which will add further pressure to the growth numbers for 2013.
If the rand weakens a lot further from here, or just stays at these levels, is that going to have an influence on prices dramatically next year?
Without a doubt. In fact, I already think that a lot of the demand that you're seeing now is as a result of consumers becoming aware that new car prices are likely to increase. In fact, we've already seen evidence of new car prices already beginning to increase. So I think you're quite right. That is going to be another factor that's going to be difficult to grow off this base for next year.